Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Christy Taylor, career and executive coach and founder of Work Solutions LLC. And we are continuing our discussion on the 21-day career pivot. And today I'm talking about the fact that your transferable skills are worth more than you think. And you need to stop underselling yourself and learn to be confident in who you are. So let's take a look here today. Now, it's easy to fall into that trap of thinking that your government experience doesn't stack up against civilian work. But I'm here to tell you, as someone who has experienced multiple career pivots, that it is simply not true. I experienced this in transitioning from my most recent role, and then I've also experienced this as a veteran transitioning into the civilian workforce. Now, the skills that you have gained in the government work that you've done, or any role, these are extremely valuable skills in any sector, because the problem is that you're not necessarily translating them effectively. Now, particularly if you have worked in a government role, when you apply for a job outside the government, the key isn't your title, it's the impact that you made. I always write, when I'm working with my clients, I write in a format of action, impact, result. You know, these companies, when you're interviewing for jobs, they don't want to just see a bunch of job descriptions. And one of the things that, if you have a government resume, people tend to pack that with, content, right? Because it's almost like the more the merrier. But what private sector employees really want to see is your impact. And they also want to see the results of your work. So you may have a few bullets in there that kind of demonstrate a descriptive form of what you do, but you actually need to be able to show tangible results for the work that you did, and try to simplify this process. So again, when you apply, these companies, they don't care about your title. They care about how you can solve problems, improve processes, and deliver results. Your job in the government has likely given you a unique skill set, and whether it's project management, strategic planning, compliance, or data analysts, those are in-demand skills that are in the private sector. So you just have to know how to translate that accordingly. So the key is, again, is to focus on the outcomes, not necessarily the titles. Instead of saying, I'm a federal program manager, you may need to say, I successfully led a cross-functional team to streamline operations, and I reduced costs by 15%. So, of course, on your resume, your job title is going to be there, but move from just a bunch of descriptors to actually showing the actual impact result of what you're doing. Now, in this process, in the example that I gave of I successfully led a cross-functional team to streamline operations and reduce costs by 15%, it's not that you're just managing, you're driving results. And that's what private sector employees, that's what they're looking for. Okay. It's not just about what you did. It's about how you did it, how it made an impact, and how it made a difference. Now, the other piece that I want to highlight here is the transferable skills. There are certain skills that employers in the private sector are always looking for. And just kind of gave you some examples there of, learning project management, strategic planning. Everything that I said there is something that is a crossover skill that can be almost in any industry. Things like compliance, data analysis. So you should be kind of list out what your skills are. Other examples, risk management, budgeting. All of these are highly sought after skills. And once you take a look at yourself on paper, if you've been in one of these roles where you're doing this, and you just need to highlight that on your resume. So I want you to take time to assess your skill set and identify which ones are transferable. For example, if you've worked in federal contracting or procurement, those skills can be directly applied to supply chain management or vendor relations in the private sector. So don't think that you just have to go down a narrow path of, trying to redefine and recreate everything about yourself when you already have a valuable skill set. So similarly, if you've been responsible for managing large budgets or teams, those skills are universally valuable across all industries. So I really encourage you to look at those transferable skills, because a big part of the problem is that federal workers, they tend to downplay their experience because it's easy to get caught up in that idea that because you didn't work in the private sector, your experience isn't valuable. But again, let me tell you, that can be nothing further from the truth. The fact that you work in a high stakes, highly regulated environment gives you the edge. And government work requires attention to detail. It requires, a high level of organization and for you to be able to navigate complex processes. And those skills are, again, crucial in any industry. It's just about you learning how to sell yourself. So how do you stop downplaying your experience? And I want you to really begin to highlight the results-driven outcomes and focusing on that. And over the next couple of months, I'm going to be doing a few live workshops, and I want you to come out and get the support you need to begin to make that transition. I want you to start by really rethinking how you present your work. Use specific, measurable, achievable goals whenever possible. For example, again, if you led a project that saved the agency money, don't just put, I managed the budget. I want you to say reduce operational costs by 10% through efficient budget management. Add that action impact result in there because you really need to shift what you're doing from tasks oriented type of writing to impact, because that is going to make all the difference. And finally, I'm going to talk about the importance of confidence. The way that you advocate for your worth is going to depend on how much you believe in the value that you bring. I get it. It has been a rough couple of months, right? And people are getting laid off and you are going out there to the job market, but there are jobs out there that exist. But just like with anything, even if you had decided 6 months ago to make a job transition, you would have had to compete in this job market. So these things are always ongoing. People are always getting laid off. Companies are always downsizing. People are always in transition. But you are the best of the best, and you should be confident in yourself as you go out there. The practice talking about your achievements in a way that emphasizes your impact and results that you deliver, because the more you do it, the more natural it's going to feel. And so to kind of summarize what I'm talking about here in day 3 is that you are likely undervaluing your experience because you're not translating it correctly. And you shouldn't undervalue it. By focusing on the impact of the work that you do and not just the title, lead with your impact, right? I've served in this role, because naturally your title is going to be on the resume, right? And you'll bring it up if answering a question, but focus on the impact, action, impact, result. Identify those transferable skills and learn to confidently advocate for yourself, because you're going to start to see the true value of your experience. And remember that the skills that you bring to the table are worth more than you think. Again, thank you for tuning in today. I want you to be confident. We are on day 3 of this transition. We're not only pushing this out as a podcast, but you can check out our articles that we're publishing through our newsletter on LinkedIn. And here's a little bit of encouragement for you. If you're ready to stop underselling yourself and start advocating for your work, I want you to join me for the free 2-day Prescription for Career Success Career Summit. I'm going to have 18 speakers there to support you with this transition from everything with your career goals to mindset. It is designed to give you the tools and the confidence that you need to succeed. And then, of course, over the course of the next couple of months, we will be offering some free and affordable workshops to help you with that transition process. And then finally, if you feel like you continue to need one-on-one support, I'm here to help you. You can schedule a personalized career coaching session with me by clicking the link in the description box. And together we're going to tailor a strategy to help you achieve your goals. So be confident, go out there, but really learn to speak and to advocate for yourself and translate your skills accordingly. So you have the power to be the prescription for change. Thanks for tuning in. And until next episode, hang in there. We are here supporting you, championing you, and we are with you along the way.